Barcelona are one of the world's biggest clubs and are well known for their incredible youth academy, producing players like Lionel Messi and countless others. So for this experiment, I've released all of their non-homegrown players to see if I can be successful using only players coming through the youth system. Hey, how's it going? And welcome to the Barcelona Homegrown Challenge. So as said in the intro there, I have released every single non-homegrown player from the club, and I want to play as many seasons as I can where we can become one of the best teams in the world again just by using the club's youth academy. So I should explain the rules here a little bit. This is purely players who have started their career at Barcelona. So as you can see here, all of the players here are homegrown at the club, apart from one, which is Eric Garcia. The reason why he doesn't count as homegrown at the club is because he left the club as a 16-year-old to go play for Man City. But of course, he's now back at the club. We're also recording from loan at Girona for the sake of this challenge here. And Ansu Fati is back at the club as well. But that is why players like Pedri, for example, are not here in this homegrown challenge. Because although he does classify as homegrown at the club through FootballManager, because he signed for the club before the age of 18, he did not start his career at Barcelona. That is why he's not in it. And Eric Garcia, who technically is not homegrown at the club, he is in this homegrown challenge here. So as you can see, they're all trained at the club apart from Eric Garcia. The likes of Lewandowski left the club, of course, Pedri, Frankie de Jong, Ronald Araujo, ter Stegen. So lots of big players have left the club. I'm not going to show you where all these players have gone, but I will say that most of them have gone to the Saudi Arabian League. So they're gone there for the big bucks. We are left with not the greatest of teams, it has to be said. Also a very small squad at the start of the homegrown challenge here. There's only 19 players, but theoretically, every single season, the team should get better. And hopefully, by the end of the challenge here, we could be one of the best teams in the world. I hope we will be. First of all, let's address the better players at the club. It's pretty obvious the better players we have at the club. Gavi, for example, 18 years of age. He's a 4.5-star player at the club now. He's a very good player, very versatile player as well. He is absolutely crucial to the challenge here. Hopefully, we can keep him about for the entirety of the challenge. We shall see about that. But obviously, looking at him, he's an unbelievable player. Very versatile as well. Can pretty much play anywhere in the midfield. So he's obviously a key player. We all knew that. Also, Alejandro Balde. The great thing about the better players as well is they're all very young as well. You know, I'm looking at Gavi. I'm looking at Balde as well. Ansu Fati, and of course, the main man himself, Yamal. The oldest one of those four is 20 years of age. We've got Balde here as well, left back, already got 5 caps for Spain. The great thing about him is he can play anywhere down the left-hand side, and also he can play right back if needed as well. Already he looks like a very, very good player. We'll also, as well, have got Ansu Fati. I load up Brighton in real life, but for the sake of this challenge, I thought it was very important that we got him back at the club, so I cancelled his loan there. Same with Eric Garcia, who's on loan at Girona, I believe. So Ansu Fati as well here. Versatile as well, can play anywhere in the forward line. We know how good he is. And of course, the main man himself, Yamal, only a 3-star player at the moment, but we all know how great he can become in the game with the right development. And I'm hoping, seeing as we're doing this homegrown challenge here, he is going to get the right development here at Barcelona, and he could be a really scary player. Just 2 or 3 seasons time, to be honest. 16 years of age, only just turned 16, by the way, just one day ago. So just 16. Already he's going to be a key player for us, of course. Very versatile as well, but I think it's destined for him to have that right winger spot, you know, the new Messi, and hopefully we can look for him for lots of trophies. But yeah, they're the obvious players, of course. The not so obvious players, we've got Sergio Roberto still here. He's homegrown at the club, 31 years of age now, so obviously he won't be around here for much longer, it has to be said. Decent player, but of course, if he was playing for Barcelona for real, he definitely wouldn't be my number 1 right back, also the midfielder. We've also got Oriol Romeo at the club as well, 31 years of age. Actually started his career at Barcelona, that's why he's still here. He went to Chelsea as a youngster, played many seasons at Southampton as well. So he's a useful one to have, to be honest. I'm glad they signed him for £2.9 million in real life, because he's definitely useful. Very good mentally, Romeo. Again, he's 31 years of age, about to turn 32. But with such a young squad, the likes of Romeo and Roberto could prove very crucial here. They're the obvious players though, and of course, not much can happen with 4 or 5 key players, although some things can happen, it has to be said. But I'm looking at the rest of the squad here. The goalkeeper position is definitely very worrying. We've got Inaki Peña, who's our number 1 goalkeeper now. Obviously, ter Stegen is gone. Not the best, it has to be said, not the best at all. But to be honest, I feel like with we've got a little bit lucky here with Peña. He's 24 years of age, so he might still develop a little bit yet. And he's not horrendous. He's not horrendous. He's definitely a La Liga style player, but is he, you know, a Champions League winning goalkeeper? Probably not. But yeah, I guess we shouldn't moan too much because it could be a lot worse than this. And at least we've got someone who's at least half decent there in Peña. In terms of the right back position, of course, we've got Sergio Roberto. And we've also got Hector Fort, who's 16 years of age, up in the first team now. He looks like the natural successor for Sergio Roberto. So the right back position is looking quite decent, I have to be honest. Quite decent. We've also got left back. We've got Alejandro Balde, who's obviously a class player, class potential player as well, only 19 years of age. We've also got Alex Vela here as well, who's also 19 years of age. And he's quite good as well. As a backup left back, he's quite good. So, to be honest, the fullback position is looking quite good. One position that's not looking very good, though, is the centre-back position. It's looking rather disastrous, actually, to be honest with you. Eric Garcia is here, of course, 22 years of age, still young, still might develop. He's obviously a decent centre-back, again, similar to Peña. It would be nice to have a better centre-back, but again, I shouldn't moan too much. The fact that we've got a La Liga-style centre-back here is pretty good, so he's here, of course. But the other two in the first team squad at the moment are, yeah, a bit worrying. We've got Pelayo here and Sergi Dominguez. Pelayo has potential of 4.5 stars, but he's 20 years of age. I don't think he's going to develop much more after this point, to be honest with you. And as a ball-playing defender, which I do like, he's clearly nowhere near good enough as a ball-playing defender. Only got 8 composure. He's got poor vision as well, poor technique as well. So it looks like, with the standard centre-backs I've got, I might have to play with central defender and defend for the other position, apart from Garcia. And also Sergi Dominguez, potentially 4 stars. He's 18 years of age. Again, he's way off the standard at the moment, but we also don't know how good these players will become. Pelayo and Dominguez, they might develop to an incredible standard and be very good centre-backs for us. But at the moment, the centre-back position, in terms of the defence, is looking by far the weakest at the moment, to be honest with you. Going into midfield, well, of course, we've got Gavi. We've also got Oriol Romeo as well, so the centre midfield partnership is looking quite good. I'll be playing with 2 DMs here with Barcelona. We've also got Marc Caicedo here as well, potentially 5 stars. Mentally, he's very strong, to be honest. 19 years of age, about to turn 20 years of age. He still needs to develop quite a lot, has to be said, but he's another versatile player, can play anywhere down the right-hand side if needed. He can also play centre-back if needed as well, but the fact that he's 5'8", I'm probably not going to place him there, to be honest with you. And we've also got Mark Bernal as well, only 16 years of age, potentially 4.5 stars. Of course, these 16-year-olds, they'll be nowhere near the first team in any other circumstances. They'll be in the B squad or the under-19 squad, but obviously it's a needs-must situation. So the first 11 actually isn't that bad, to be honest with you, but the squad depth is pretty terrible in the first season. But as I said, theoretically, the team should get better as the seasons go along, and to the point where hopefully we've got a very, very good team competing for all major honours. But we have to hope the youth intake will be very good, don't we? So the centre midfield is not looking that bad. Gavi and Oriol Romeo. Gavi's not natural DM, but he can be trained there quite easily. And when you get to the forward positions, we've got, of course, Ansu Fati, Lamine Yamal. We've also got Fermin at the club as well, potentially 5 stars, 20 years of age, very versatile as well. Looks like quite a good potential player, Fermin, to be honest. Hopefully he develops more, but yeah, very happy with him. We've got Ika Goujon here, 2-star player, clearly nowhere good enough, 23 years of age. He's only in here to make up the numbers a little bit. And we've also got Angel Alarcon, who is only 19 years of age, potentially 5 stars as well. Versatile player. Needs to develop quite a lot, but again, quite happy with him. The striker position is another worrying position, it has to be said. We've got Mark Guillou at the club, potentially 5 stars, 17 years of age. Definitely got potential about him, but not really good enough to lead the line for us at the moment. So, yeah, a little bit worried about the striker position, that is for sure, and also the centre-back position. But all in all, the fact that we've released all the players here, it doesn't look that bad. Hopefully in 4 or 5 years' team, though, it'll be looking a lot better. In terms of actual prospects at the club, well, despite releasing all the players, I also released all the B and under-19 players who didn't start their career at Barcelona. Thankfully, there wasn't too many of them, but there were a few. In terms of the biggest potential players in the B squad, we've got Xavi Espart here, potentially 5 stars. He's only 16 years of age. He can play DM, centre midfielder and right back as well. He could prove crucial. We shall see about that. And we've also got Andrei Sawenka here as well, potentially 4.5 stars. He's a centre-back, only 16 years of age. The rest of them, probably not going to be good enough, but obviously, the fact that we're not going to sign a single player here at Barcelona, we don't know which one of these could prove crucial in the rebuild. We go to the under-19s as well. Got a little bit more potential players in there. One of them is Pau Sabasi, who is a centre-back, potentially 5 stars. He could be very crucial in the rebuild. The great thing about him is he looks like a ball-playing defender style centre-back. As you can see, he's got good first touch, he's got good technique as well, good composure as well, good attributes for a 16-year-old. I don't want to rush him too much into the first team though, because I want him to develop a little bit in the under-19s and maybe the B squad as well. But the centre-back potential player there, Sabasi, is definitely there. We've also got Juan Hernandez, essentially 5 stars as well. He's a winger-style player. Pal Prim is a centre-mid, essentially 5 stars. Also a familiar name here, Shane Kluivert. He is the brother of Justin Kluivert and of course the son of Patrick Kluivert. Potentially 4.5 stars. He's 15 years of age. Also, there's no rules about they have to be Spanish or anything like that. It's just a coincidence that the 19 players in the first team are all Spanish. Obviously, the fact that we're Barcelona, the majority of the players will be Spanish, but obviously got Kluivert in here, he's a Dutch player. We've also got a Hungarian here, a couple of Americans, a Romanian player as well. But yeah, in the under-19 squad, of course, the biggest potential player, in my opinion, has to be Kabasi, especially with the problems we have at centre-back. So this is the tactic I'm going here with Barcelona. If you watch any of my previous rebuilds or any of my Let's Play videos, you'll know that I do love a 4-2-3-1 style formation, and I don't really change from that too often, to be honest. And I haven't changed from it here with Barcelona either. Although we've got quite a weak squad, I don't want to change things. I want to go with a positive mentality. I want to stay an attacking style team as well. As you can see here, this is the assistant's opinion of the best 11, by the way, not my opinion on the best 11. Pena in goal, Roberto right back as an inverted wing back on support. We've got Balde as a wing back on attack. And we've got Paleo and Eric Garcia as the 2 centre backs. Garcia as a ball playing defender. Paleo as a central defender on defend. In midfield, we've got Romeo as a ball midfielder on defend. Casado as a segundo volante and support. And Fermin as an attacking midfielder on support. On the right wing, we've got main man himself, Lamine Yamal as an inverted winger on attack. On the left wing, we've got Gavi as an inverted winger on support. And up front, we've got Ansu Fati as an advanced forward. So the front three is actually looking pretty class, to be honest with you. They're still very young, all 3 of them, but that hasn't really downgraded the team too much. Of course, it'd be nice to have Lewandowski still here, but Fati, Gavi and Yamal, you can't really complain too much of that. Midfield, not looking so good. Fermin, he's a high potential player, but you can't really compare him to the likes of Gavi, Yamal and Fati. And then, of course, we've got Romeo and Casado in there. Casado, he's got some potential as well, but I don't think he's a chance to be an elite player. And Romeo as well is 31 years of age. So the midfield is looking a bit worrying, but of course, Gavi as well. If we get some amazing talents come through on the left wing or the striker position, also some of those players reach their potential, he could easily slot into the DM position there. So not too worried about that side of things. And the defence is not looking too bad either, to be honest. You've got Balde, who's obviously a class potential. Roberto is still quite a decent player. Eric Garcia is still young. Pena is alright. Pelayo, though, is a very weak part of the team. But again, we actually don't know what players will come through the rebuild and how good they will become. Also, for the sake of the rebuild, or for the sake of the Homegrown Challenge, shall I say, I made myself unsackable because in the first season here, the board expect us to win the La Liga, which is not going to happen, let's be honest. And also our season preview is actually 8th for the season, I believe. Yeah, 8th for the season preview, 50-1 to win the league title. So if I didn't make myself unsackable, this challenge will be over rather quickly, it has to be said. Also, I'll be acting primarily as the director of football, although it is a little bit different to the rebuilds I've done previously, because of course this is all about the new intake of youth players. I'll be taking complete charge of that. I'm making sure I come back off holiday every time the intake of youth players come about. And of course, there's no signings to talk of. I won't be signing a single player here for the challenge. Purely youth intake players only. In terms of player sales, I don't think there'll be too many of them, to be honest, because we can't really sell too many players, but there will be some. But in terms of the day-to-day running of the club, that will fall down to the assistant manager. I'll go on holiday for the season. I'll make sure he uses my tactics and stuff like that. But yeah, the first season predicted to finish 8th in the league. I'm slightly concerned because obviously you've got big players such as Gavi, Yamal and Fati and Balde at the club here. If we do finish in 8th place in the league, we might start losing players who refuse to sign contracts, such as Yamal, Fati and Gavi. So I'm hoping we might be able to exceed expectations in the first season, maybe qualify for the Champions League and somehow try and keep these players happy. So without further ado, let's see what happens in the first season. Well, in the first season here, I'm pleasantly surprised. We predicted to finish 8th for the start of the season, but we managed to secure a Champions League spot for next season. We finished 4th in the league with 70 points. Level on points with Mallorca, by the way. What are they doing there? But Anyway, what's going on there? We have a better goal difference than Mallorca, but it must be that results between teams mean that Mallorca finished third in the league. So technically we finished joint third in the league, only 3 points clear of Athletic Bilbao in 5th place though. But we qualified for the Champions League. That could prove really, really crucial in the terms of the Homegrown Challenge here. That could keep the players happy, such as Gavi, as I said before. So yeah, obviously can't really expect much better than this, to be honest. 26 points behind Real Madrid, 23 points behind Atletico Madrid, but the most important thing is we qualify for the Champions League next season. In terms of the Champions League for this season though, pretty disastrous to tell you the truth. We finished third in the group with only 4 points behind Inter and Celtic. Went through to the Europa League because of it, but we knocked out in the knockout playoff round by Bayer Leverkusen. In the Spanish Cup, we got knocked down in the 4th round by Levante. And we finished as runner-up in the Spanish Super Cup. But as I said, it's only the first season. I wasn't expecting too much in the first season. I'm not expecting too much in the first 4 or 5 seasons, to be honest with you. The most important thing is, though, we are still playing Champions League football, and that could keep our really big potential players happy to stay at the club. So that is very, very important. Well, of course, we had our first youth intake in this season, and it was quite a good one, to tell you the truth. And the biggest potential player we have is Manolo. He's come through the youth intake. He is potentially 5 stars. Obviously, these players don't know that much at the start when they first come through the youth system. But yeah, Manolo potentially 5 stars. Hopefully, he can fulfill his potential. We shall see about that. He's Equatorial Guinean, but he's also Spanish as well, as you see there. Other than that, he's Spanish. So if he does fulfill his potential ability, no offense to Equatorial Guinea, but I'm pretty sure he'll turn out to be a Spanish player who want to represent the Spanish national team. So he is one of them, Manolo. Another one who's came through is Alejandro Clavillo. He's a left back who can also play on the wing as well, potentially 4.5 stars. The fact that he can't defend at all, his defending is absolutely atrocious. Only 5 marking, 5 tackling and 5 positioning. He looks more like a winger style player to me. He's actually Argentinian as well. Don't get your hopes up though. Argentinian playing the right wing. He doesn't look like he's got Messi potential, but he could prove useful as well. Also, Jonathan Honti as well. He's come through the youth system, potentially 4.5 stars. He is a left back. Venezuelan as well. So the 3 players we looked at are all not Spanish players. He's Venezuelan. And the other one who's quite decent is Carlos Pedroza, potentially 4.5 stars as well. He's a 16-year-old striker. He can also play on the wings. Obviously, the players, when they come through the youth intake, you can't really tell too much about them at the moment. But looking at the 4 players here, Manolo looks like the one with the biggest potential, potentially 5 stars, and already looks, you just look at his attributes here, and you can kind of predict which ones could turn out to be a world-class player. And looking at those 4 that come through, Manolo looks like the one who's most exciting, but we shall see going further through the Homegrown Challenge. In terms of the squad as well, as you can see by the average rating here, not too many great performances. The only 2 players with a green rating are our 2 left backs. That is Alejandro Balde, who got a 7.14 average rating with 3 goals and 10 assists, and Alex Valle, his understudy, 1 goal and 5 assists for a 7.06 average rating. Also, the good news is a lot of players have already started their development, such as Baldy's developed very nice this season. Lamine Yamal as well. He already looks like a much better player, to be honest with you, so that is nice. Couldn't have expected anything less, though. But in terms of great seasons, not too many to talk about in the first season here at Barcelona. But as I said, the most important thing is we have finished 4th in the league. But the most important thing is we've finished 4th in the league, and we'll be playing Champions League football next season, where hopefully the players will continue to be happy at the club. Anyway, let's go now to Season 2, and let's see what we'll do in the second season. So at the start of Season 2 here, of course, not much has changed in terms of the best players of the club. Alejandro Balde is now apparently the best player of the club, 4.5 stars. He developed really well last season. Gavi as well, of course. Fati there as well. Lamine Yamal is still a 3-star player, but his development has really started, and he's going to be absolutely class in the future. Let's be honest, he's going to be absolutely class. In terms of players have been called up to the first team, we've got Astralaga here, who's our backup goalkeeper. He's in the first team now. I think he was in the first team last season. I just don't think I mentioned him. He's not a very good player, though, to be honest with you. The goalkeeper position is very worrying. I'm hoping for a goalkeeper to come through, because that obviously is a very important position. If you get a really terrible goalkeeper come through the youth system, you're in whole heaps of trouble. The good news, though, is Inaki Peña is still young. He's still only 25 years of age, so we have time to get one to come through, because Astralaga is definitely not going to be that great goalkeeper for us, but as a backup, he is decent. Also, Pau Sabasi has been called up for the first team for this season, potentially 4.5 stars. He developed last season. Still needs to develop quite a lot, but obviously that's a very worrying position for us. We need some better cover in that area. Sergi Dominguez is clearly not good enough. But Sabasi, I'm liking the look of him, to be honest. I know he's got potential. Hopefully he fulfills his potential, though. Also got Alex Garrido here in the first team as well. He's only 20 years of age. He's definitely a decent player. Physically, he's terrible, to be honest with you. The fact that he's 20 years of age, I don't think he's not going to be a world-class player, potentially 3 stars, but as a squad option, he could be very important as well. We shall see about that. Also, Arno Pradas is up in the first team as well, potentially 3 stars. Not much to mention. You know, potentially 3-star players, 90% of them are not going to be good enough to play for the club, but some of them do turn out to be, do turn to fill out their potential, and they could be useful squad players for us. Also got to fill out the squad. So Pradas is here in the first team as well. And also, Juan Hernandez, a young 16-year-old, is in the first team as well. Almost 17 years of age. Definitely got potential about him. So we'll see how he does. I'll be keeping the squad very thin, to be honest with you, throughout the entirety of the challenge. This time they've got 22 players in the first team. 2 players for every single position, apart from centre-backs and midfield, etc. Last season was only 19 players, so the squad was very thin, but this time around I've got 3 more players in the first team. So in terms of the assistant's opinion of the best 11, it hasn't changed at all from the last season there, as you can imagine. Pelayo is still better than Sabasi, apparently, according to the assistant, so I've kept that as a central defender on defend, and the rest of the players are exactly the same 11 as last season, so not much has changed, although, as I said, theoretically, all these players should get better every single season. So the team arguably is better than last season. Yamal's improved, Gavi's improved, Fati has as well, so has Balde. So the first 11 hasn't changed, but the players' ability definitely has changed. In terms of the players I'm keeping an eye on, well, Pal Prim is certainly one I'm keeping an eye on. Potentially 5 stars. He's 2-star player now. Still developing. He looks like he could be useful in the future. He's staying in the Barcelona B squad, though. We're actually playing in the 4th tier, I believe, Barcelona B. So I'm trying to progress the team up so we can actually compete in the 2nd division, because I know that the B squads can play in the 2nd division, and obviously that'll be better for the players' development. So hopefully we can get promotion this season or next season. But Pal Prim is one I'm keeping an eye on. Other than him, there's not really any player I'm keeping an eye on at the moment in the B squad. In the under-19 squad as well, of course, we've got Manolo in there and Pedrosa, but none of those are ready for first team football. So that is the starting 11, well, the assistant starting 11 for the 2nd season. Don't think much is going to change here in the 2nd season from the 1st season. I'm just hoping that we'll be able to secure a top 4 finish again and keep the big players happy. So thankfully at the end of season 2 we managed to secure a top 4 finish again. We finished exactly 4th place again, same as last season. 3 points less this season, only 67 points, but you know what, I'm happy with this. I'm happy with this. I was expecting worse than this in the first few seasons, and I was really concerned about some of the big players leaving, but the fact that we secured a top 4 finish the first 2 seasons is really great. Obviously, we're still miles away from Real Madrid at the top there. We're 29 points behind them, miles away from Atletico Madrid as well, but hopefully it will come. Later in the challenge, we'll start to climb the league, and hopefully we'll win a league title or 2, maybe more, we shall see. In terms of the Champions League, we got through the group stage this time. Obviously, it's the league phase this time, so we got through that. We were knocked out in the playoff round by Tottenham, unfortunately, and we were knocked out in the 3rd round of the Spanish Cup by Cartagena. In terms of the youth intake as well, another pretty good one, it has to be said. Another pretty good one. We've got 4, again, similar to last season, another 4 good players come through. We've got Narcis here at the club. He's only 15 years of age, actually 5 stars. Obviously, again, as I said, don't allow much right now, but give them time. Hopefully a lot of them, or some of them, will turn out to be great players. But yeah, Narcis potentially 5 stars. We've also got Robert here at the club. He's 16 years of age, potentially 5 stars. Already he's started to improve, which is very great. Also, the great thing about him is he's a centre-back, and clearly we're lacking in that department. So hopefully he turns out to be a great player for us, Robert. We've also got Emric Parra, who's come through the youth system, potentially 4.5 stars. He's a striker, can play on the left and through the middle as well. And we've also got Emili Riarola, potentially 4.5 stars as well. He's a midfielder, plays centre mid, can play striker as well. He can also play attacking midfield as well. So he looks like quite a decent player, to be honest with you. He looks like he's got the potential to be a world-class player, Riarola. But also Robert looks like a very good one. We've also got a second Robert as well. Another Robert, potentially 4 stars. He's an attacking midfielder. Not quite as exciting as our centre-back Robert, but another one who looks quite decent. So the 2 youth intakes at the start here have been quite good, has to be said. Got a couple of 5-star players here, a couple of 4.5-star players as well. Well, more than a couple, but of those 8 players, potentially 4.5 stars or more, I don't think all 8 will turn out to be world-class players, but if 1 or 2 of them do, then that'll be absolutely fantastic. None of them are ready for first-team football yet, that is for sure. Manolo is the closest one to it, but he's only 1.5 stars, so he's not quite ready yet. In terms of the squad for this season as well, Again, not too many green ratings about, but Fermin actually had the best season of any player this season. 7 goals and 11 assists for him. Also, Balde, another good season for him. 4 goals and 4 assists. Lamine Yamal had a better season this time round with 10 goals and 8 assists. Remember, he's still only 17 years of age. Other than those three, no one else had a great season in the green rating there, but Alarcon got 10 goals and 3 assists this season. Ansu Fati got 10 goals and 4 assists as well. And also, the top goal scorer of the season was actually Marc Guiu with 15 goals in just 33 starts. He's developed a lot in the first 2 seasons, it has to be said. As you can see here, he's a much better player already. And to be honest, he's looking like our #1 striker at the club. So he is doing really well as well. But again, not much has changed in the first 2 seasons, apart from the fact that players are getting better. As you can see, Lamine Yamal is now a 3.5-star player. The top 3 players haven't changed at all. But yeah, these players are getting better. Every season goes past. Hector Fort as well is now a 2.5-star player. So the future is already bright. The first 2 youth intakes have been good. Of course, those players are still far away from first team football. But let's see what season 3 will bring. Also, I should mention here with the challenge that obviously I want to keep the training facilities and the youth facilities as good as possible. Unfortunately, in the first 2 seasons, we weren't able to improve the training or youth facilities due to the club's finances, but due to the fact that we haven't signed a player in 2 seasons, they won't sign a single player, the finances are looking quite good. Both the facilities are both superb. Obviously, it can get better than that. It can be state of the art. That is what I'm looking for. Hopefully, we'll get to that. I think they're rebuilding it now. Yeah, as you can see, end of the season, the training facilities and the youth facilities improvement will be completed. They're now decided that we can improve the facilities because of the finances. So those 2 will both be state of the art come into the season. That's very important for the development as well. So I am looking into that. Of course I am. The academy coaching and the youth recruitment is maxed out. Exceptional, both of them. So don't need to do anything in that regard. In terms of the team for this season, for season 3, in terms of call-ups to the first team, well, 2 players have been called up for the first team, both midfielders as well. And that is Pau Prim. Obviously a player I was looking at. He's definitely one for the future, that is for sure. Again, will he turn to be a world-class player? Not so sure, but we still need these useful squad players about at the club. He's 2-star, potentially 4-star now, not 5-star, but he's a decent player, decent mentally, decent physically, decent technically as well. So definitely a useful player, Pau Prim. And the other one is Quim Junyant. Very similar to Pau Prim, only the fact that he's more of an attacking midfielder style player. Potentially 4.5 stars as well. He looks quite good. He developed a lot last season, to be honest with you. Let's see what we do in the first team. He's got higher potential than Prim, I'd say. So hopefully he fulfills that. In terms of the 2 players that left, I'm not entirely sure, to be honest. I know Garrido has left on a free transfer. He's gone to Roma on a free transfer. Obviously, I'm not really mentioning transfers because there basically is none. Garrido left the club on a free transfer, as you see. Went to Roma. But as you can see, no players have come in. No players have gone out really as well. A couple of players left us on a free transfer, but that is about it. In terms of the B squad as well, in terms of players I'm keeping an eye on. Well, young Shane Cliver is now a 2-star player, potentially 4 stars. Oh, that's it. Hernandez was the other one. I've moved him down to the B squad. He's not quite ready for first team football. Still potentially 4.5 stars though. So those 2 I'm keeping an eye on in terms of the forward positions. And in the under-19 squad, only 1.5 star players at the moment. So got to give these players time. Hopefully develop to a great standard. So in terms of the starting 11, it still hasn't changed in the assistant's mind. It's still exactly the same starting 11 for the first 3 seasons here. Lamine Yamal though, well, he's already twice the player than what we did at the start of the season, start of the challenge here. Already got 2 caps and 2 goals for Spain. About to turn 18 years of age. So it's looking very good for his development, Yamal. Also, I was slightly worried about Gavi, about him actually leaving the club, because Liverpool were after him and he wasn't interested in signing a new contract until the European Championships were over in 2024. So I was really concerned and I thought, that's it. It's a domino effect now. Gavi's going to leave the club as all the players are going to leave the club. But thankfully, Gavi decided after the European Championships he wants to stay. And thankfully, because the finances are in such great order, I can offer them any wages I want and keep them happy. As long as we get Champions League football, the players should stay happy, hopefully. So Gavi did agree to sign a new contract, down for another 4 years. Also, I don't let any of these big players run down their contract at all. They have to have at least 3 years on their contract minimum, in my opinion. So I keep offering them contracts pretty much every single season to keep them happy, keep giving them pay rises. That is why none of the big players have left the club yet. But if we did finish 5th in the league, say the first season, I think it could be a whole lot different. So as I said, that first season was very, very crucial. Also, the starting 11 is still the same, but it won't be for much longer because Romeo now is 33 years of age, about to turn 34, so he ain't going to last forever, that is for sure. Also, Sergio Roberto is 33 years of age as well. The replacement for Roberto is pretty much set up with Hector Fort. He's now 18 years of age, about to turn 19. looking very good. As I said, all these players are developing every single season, so that doesn't look too bad. You know, Roberto can leave, Hector Fort can take his position, but for Romeo as the ball midfielder, a bit more worrying, but Casado is a natural ball midfielder, so hopefully he'll take his position, and then Gavi will probably go in the midfield. So at the start of Season 3 here, the first 2 seasons, we finished 4th and 4th again. Again, not much has changed, but players have improved drastically, like Lamine Yamal, also Balde as well. Gavi, Fati still at the club, so can we record a higher position than 4th in the 3rd season? Well, let's find out. Well, in the 3rd season, it's definitely the best season so far, by quite a distance as well. Real Madrid finished top with 103 points, but don't worry about them. We finished second in the league with 81 points this time round, with a plus 55 goal difference. So a really impressive season, has to be said. Of course, 22 points behind Real Madrid. It's still quite far away from them, but second in the league this season, you know, with no single signings at all, only the youth players. I'm very happy with that. Very happy indeed. And plus 55 goal difference, it proves that the tactic is going quite well as well. If you look here, the data hub is looking very good. So yeah, very happy with that. In terms of the Champions League, knocked down in the round of 16 by Aston Villa, so a little bit disappointing there. The Spanish Cup knocked down in the 4th round by Albacete, and again, runner-up in the Spanish Super Cup. So after 3 seasons, still no trophy to talk of, but in my personal opinion, it's going quite well. 4th, and now 2nd. We're getting better, as I said, we're getting better, and hopefully we might win a trophy very, very soon. We shall see. Well, unfortunately, we've had our first bad youth intake. Only one player has come through who's got any potential at all, really, and that is Andreo, potentially 5-star player. He is a left back who also can play on the left wing, but again, he's a left back who can't defend at all. Got terrible marking, terrible tackling, terrible positioning as well, but who knows how good he will be in the future. Left back is a position that we're pretty much set up for the entire challenge, to be honest, so how good he has to become a regular starter for us. He has to be better than Balde, so doesn't look too likely for the guy, but potentially 5 stars. Again, how useful he might be, we shall see, but the rest of the players that have come through, not good enough, to be honest with you. So our first poor youth intake to talk of. Hopefully, not too many of them. In terms of the other players in the under-19s, as you can see, Manolo is now a 2-star player. Same with Clavijo as well. Manolo is now 18. He keeps getting better. He's now switched his allegiance to Spain, surprisingly. And yeah, he's got 16 finishing. Play on the left, play up front as well. So definitely got potential about Manolo. Definitely could prove useful. And also Clavijo is now a 2-star player as well. Not looking as promising as Manolo, but still promising. Still only 17 years of age. So although we had a poor youth intake, we've still got plenty of players in the youth team here that could prove crucial in the future. In terms of the best player of the season as well, it goes to Alejandro Balde, of course, with 2 goals and 14 assists with 7.28. As you can see, more green ratings to talk of. And Lamine Yamal keeps getting better and better. 11 goals and 11 assists for him this season with 7.13. He's actually got broken ribs now, which is not nice, but obviously you can get much more serious injuries than that. Baldy's injured as well. Pulled knee ligaments. But also Furman had a good season with 9 goals, 10 assists. Casado got 7 goals and 10 assists. And Mark Guillou got 24 goals this season in 31 starts. So he looks like the first player who's really forced himself into the starting 11, to be honest with you. Mark Guillou. And 4 assists. Quim Junior had quite a decent first season as well. He only started 9 games, but he got 7.01. Alex Valero as well, he's a very crucial backup left back. So yeah, the team's looking better every single season, as you can expect. Lamine Yamal is now a 4.5-star player, along with Gavi and Balde, and Fati is a 4-star player. Also, Hector Fort has forced himself into the first team as well. He started 18 games this season, come off the bench 30 times as well. He's now a 3-star player. But Lamine Yamal, got to look at him again. We've got to look at him again. Unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable. Almost 19 years of age, on 50k a week now. Only got 2 years left on the contract, but don't worry. I've already offered him a new contract, as you can see there. Can change the contract offer, and he's very happy to stay at the club. So that is very important that we keep Yamal about as much as possible before any teams get interested in the players. Got to time down to contracts to make sure they stay at the club. So yeah, the 3rd season by far the best, 2nd in the league. By far our biggest points tally as well, plus 55 goal difference as well. So at the moment things are going really well, although this season we had a very poor youth intake. What will Season 4 bring though? Before we get started with Season 4 though, guys, please remember that if you do like this video, hit that like button for me. It's very important for the video's success. And also, if you're new around here, do hit that subscribe button as well. It'd really help me out, and it's much appreciated. So at the start of Season 4 here, I actually haven't called up any players to the first team. The players are still developing. I want to develop them as much as I can in the under-19 and the B squad and try and use more fringe players with not too much potential as our fringe players in the first team. I don't really want to waste any big potential players, so that is why I haven't called up any players to the first team. Obviously, in terms of the best players in the club, it hasn't changed at all really in the first. Well, of course, Yamal started off as a 3-star player. Now he's 4.5 stars, but the other three, Gavi, Balde and Fati, haven't changed at all. Mark Guillou, though, and Hector Fort are now 3-star players, both of them developing really nicely. So their two players have pretty much forced themselves into the first team, the first two of the challenge here so far. In terms of players I'm keeping an eye on, well, I did mention Manolo at the end of last season there. 2-star player now, potentially 5 stars. Definitely a player I'm keeping an eye on, that is for sure. Doesn't look like he's too far away from first team football. I feel like he could do with a loan out or two in the Barcelona B. I think we're in the 3rd division now, actually. Yeah, we're in the 3rd division now with Barcelona B, so definitely get some first team football there for Barcelona B. Obviously playing against professional players. Not quite ready to be in the first team yet. As I said, he's got high potential, so I don't want to waste him in the first team. He's definitely not getting above Fati or Guillou in the team, left-hand side or up front, or Gavi as well. So I'll leave him in the B squad for now. Hopefully he develops there. He's the only one I'm really keeping an eye on, though. Shane Cliver and Juan Hernandez, their development's kind of stalled, to be honest with you. Same with Xavi Esbar as well, but Manolo is looking very good. In the under-19s as well, not really any players I'm keeping an eye on. Obviously, got high potential players, but far away from first team standard. But the next one who looks like he might break into the first team would be Manolo. We'll see how he does this season. Well, at the start of Season 4 here, there's two players who actually forced themselves in the assistants' best starting 11. That is Hector Fort at right back. We've still got Sergio Roberto here at the club, but he's 34 years of age now. Of course, the physicals have started to decline. We actually compare him with Hector Fort. Hector Fort looks like a number 1 right back now. Well, he's definitely a number 1 right back now. So it's very good that he's come to his own before Roberto has actually left the club. As you can see there, Fort is just a better player, much better physically and with his speed. So that is great. And also, Pau Sabasi as well is forced himself into the team over Pelayo. And as a ball-playing defender as well. He's developed really nicely. Still only 19 years of age. Looking very, very good. And definitely much more a ball-playing defender than Pelayo. Still needs to develop, that is for sure. But I'm very happy with that as well. So 2 players have forced themselves into the starting 11. That is Sabasi and Fort in the back 5 there. But of course, Mark Guillau's getting plenty of game time. As is Alarcon as well. As is Valor as well. So these 3 players are getting plenty of game time as well. So the team is obviously looking better. Last season we finished 2nd in the league. Can we dream about finishing 1st in the league in Season 4? Well, let's find out. Well, unfortunately, we couldn't finish 1st in the league in Season 4. We also had a worse season than last season. We finished 3rd in the league, behind Villarreal, and of course, Real Madrid, who are having an absolute field day without us competing for the title. But we all compete for the title, I'm sure of it. I'm sure of it. 74 points this season, so lower than last season. Also, much lower goal difference as well. We're only plus 29. Did only lose 6 games in the season, but of course, not great, but we continue to qualify for the Champions League. Hopefully the trophies will come. In the Champions League this season, though, we had our best season to date so far. We got to the quarter-final. Unfortunately, we got knocked out by Inter Milan. The Spanish Cup, we're not doing well in the Spanish Cup, that is for sure. I'm not expecting to win the Spanish Cup too many times, but the teams we've been knocked out to have been very disappointing. Knocked down in the 4th round by Elche this season, and the Spanish Super Cup knocked down in the semi-final by Atletico Madrid. In terms of the youth intake as well, not one of our best ones. The first 2 seasons were our best youth intakes, but thankfully it was better than last season. We've got Oya Lopez here, who's a centre-back and also played left-back and DM, potentially 5 stars. As you can see, he looks like he's got great potential about him. Only 15 years of age, almost 16 years of age. But yeah, he's got high potential. He's one that definitely does excite me, that is for sure. Already he's got a couple of great attributes there mentally. Already got 16 acceleration, so he's going to be absolutely rapid in the future, which is great. He can play DM, centre-back and left-back, so got 3 positions that we could force himself into the team. More likely centre-back and DM, so he's got Baldy at left-back. But he's a high potential player, so that is great. And we've also got Alfred Puyol who came through as well. 15-year-old winger. Can play on the left, can play on the right, and play up front as well. But physically, he's looking pretty terrible. But of course, he's a youngster, so he'll develop a lot physically. But Oya Lopez is definitely a very exciting player who's come through the youth intake this season. Also, a couple of the youngsters are really starting to develop very nicely, as you can imagine. Robert, the attacking midfielder Robert, has overtaken the centre-back Robert in terms of his ability. He's done it really nicely. As you see his progress there, got really much better in the last few months. He's now a 2-star player, looking rather good, it has to be said. Same with Riarola as well. He's now a 2-star player. and Jonathan Honti and Clavijo. So it's all going to plan at the moment. It's all going to plan. The players are getting better every single season, as you can imagine. In the Barcelona B as well, Manolo, he's still a 2-star player. He's stagnated a little bit this season, but hopefully I can get him a loan out next season and start to improve him. In terms of the squad as well, best player of the season, Lamine Yamal had his best season again. He keeps better every single season, so very, very excited about him. He had 19 goals and 14 assists this season with a 7.28 average rating. By far our best player of the season, actually. Also, Gavi, 11 goals and 10 assists for him. He had a really good season. Alejandro Balde again, 2 goals, 8 assists. Alex Vela again, a great backup. Ansu Fati only got 11 goals and 9 assists, bit on the low side for him. Top goal scorer of the season again was Marc Guiu with 22 goals and 3 assists. So 4 seasons completed now, still no trophy to talk of, but of course the team is looking better every single season. Unfortunately, we finished 3rd in the season, below 2nd place of last season, but hopefully the trophies will come. Will they come in Season 5? Let's find out. Well, at the start of Season 5 here, I've actually got 2 new players in the first team, and they're both non-Spanish players, which is very interesting. Diego Cochin is our new backup goalkeeper. He's actually American, potentially 3 stars, although he has got 3 other nationalities in Peruvian, Venezuelan and Spanish. So 3 Spanish-speaking countries and Spain itself. I'm going to count him basically as a Spanish speaker, let's be honest. He's basically Spanish. He's our new backup goalkeeper. He's 21 years of age, only potentially 3 stars. And the fact that he's not going to get too much first-team football, I'm not too worried about his development now. I've kept him in the B squad for a couple of seasons. He's better than our backup goalkeeper. He's now in the B squad. And Cochin has been called up to the first-team squad. But as a backup keeper, he's all right. Hopefully he'll serve a purpose. And also our first regen in the starting in the first team squad. That is Alejandro Clavijo. I didn't really want to call him up to the first team, but he has been a little bit of a moaning myrtle. He wants to be in the first team now. He wasn't too happy that I demoted him to the B squad after calling him up to the first team squad. So we'll see how he does this season. But the fact that his best position is right wing, and we have Lamine Yamal there, he's not going to get too much game time. So we'll see how he develops. But to be honest, I feel like his potential of 5 stars might be a little bit overrated, to be honest with you. I don't think he's one of our potential world-class players, but he's in the first team nonetheless. He is Argentinian, other nationality Spanish as well. So even though their first nationality isn't Spanish, both of them are part Spanish. So they're up in the first team. Obviously, in terms of the better players of the squad, still hasn't changed too much. Yamal, Gavi, Balde and Fati, it's just as expected, let's be honest. And they're still very young players. Fati, the oldest one, is 24 years of age at the start of Season 5 here. As I said before, there's plenty of players who have developed here and getting plenty of game time, such as Guiu, Hector Fort, Thurman as well, and Alarcon, who are all 3-star players. Also got Pena and Garcia, who are 3-star players as well. In terms of the B squad as well, there's a few players are keeping an eye on, of course. Still Manolo keeping an eye on him. I'm really desperate to loan him out this season. Obviously, it's only 11th of July, so I've still got plenty of time to loan him out. He's a wanted man. He's on the loan list, so hopefully I get him loaned out. Riarola, 17 years of age, in here as well. Robert, the centre-back Robert, is in the B squad. He's got a loan bid from Hertha Berlin. Great news about Hertha Berlin. He's got state-of-the-art training facilities, so hopefully he can develop nicely there if he goes there. Honti and the other Robert, the attacker midfielder Robert, in the B squad as well. So 5 players are keeping an eye on here. When they get this 2-star ability, that is when I really start to look at them and see if they've got the potential. Cliver and Hernandez have gone on loan for the season as well, but their potential has gone downhill, 3 stars and 3.5 stars. But these 5 players, 5 regens, could prove very crucial in the next coming seasons. We shall see. Which one of those will turn out to be a world-class player, we shall see about that. And in the under-19 squad, obviously Oya Lopez is the most exciting for me, but he's way off first-team football at the moment. So in terms of the starting 11 for Season 5, well, Marc Guiu, who's been pretty much a first-team regular the last 2 seasons, he's in the assistants' best 11. I've actually changed the tactic a little bit in terms of the player roles. Instead of Fati being our number 1 striker, I've changed it to an inside forward attack on the left wing, and I've trained Gavi up as a new DM, Segundo Volante on support. So I feel like that was the way to go, to be honest. Get Gavi in the midfield, get Fati on the left, and get Guiu up front, who's banging in the goals for fun for us. So the team is looking even better this season. Obviously, Hector Fort is coming on his own, playing right back there. Sabasi partnering Garcia at centre-back. Baldy left back still, of course. Romeo is still a number 1 ball midfielder. 35 years of age now. This could be his final season for the club. Little bit worrying because our backup Casado isn't really good enough. He's 23 years of age. Although saying that, he's quite decent mentally, but physically he's not good enough. Technically he's nowhere near good enough as well, but he could serve a purpose, we shall see. But I'm kind of disappointed to see Romeo leave the club, although he is 35 years of age now and definitely on the decline. But yeah, a few players, only 4 seasons played so far, of course, now going into the 5th season, but a few players already forced themselves into the team, such as Guillaume, Thurman as well, Hector Fort, and Subasi. Still yet to win a trophy. Will we win a trophy in Season 5? Let's find out. Well, unfortunately, no trophy again in Season 5. The good news is, though, we've secured 2nd place again. So, the first 2 seasons we finished 4th, and then we finished 2nd, 3rd, now 2nd again. So, we're getting closer to Real Madrid, although we're still 21 points behind them. But again, the goal difference is much better, plus 56 for this season, so that is nice. Joint on points with Villarreal, but we sneaked into 2nd place there. The Champions League, again, we got to the quarterfinals, so that's looking alright. Knocked out by PSG, no real surprises there. They've obviously got a better team than us. The Spanish Cup is still terrible. Knocked out in the 3rd round by Numancia this time. So I don't know what's going on in the Spanish Cup. Obviously, his assistant is not taking it too seriously where he should do. And the Spanish Super Cup, we got to the final again, but we finished as runner-up. So 5 seasons without a trophy, although we are getting better. And I feel like the trophy could be around the corner. We shall see about that. Still miles off Real Madrid, though, 21 points behind them. But hopefully we can close the gap on them next season. Well, in terms of the youth intake for this season, probably the worst one to date so far. Very disappointed. The best player to come through was Isidri Rasset, who's only potentially 4-star player. And in my experience, the players tend to be 4 stars. 90% of the time, they don't turn out to be good enough for the club. As you can see, he's way off standard. Still only 15 years of age, so he still might... Well, he still will improve a lot, that is for sure. Whether he turns to be a very good player or not is a different question. So, a couple of poor youth intakes, but we've still got some big potential players in there, such as Lopez, such as Enric Parra as well. The Barcelona B squad as well. Robert, the centre-back Robert, he developed really nicely this season on loan, as did Manolo, both 2.5-star players. They both could be in the first team next season, we shall see. You look at Robert here, he's looking very good now, actually. Defensively, he's very, very good. The only problem with him is, as a ball-playing defender, not really good enough. Got poor composure. He's also got quite, well, passing side of things, he ain't too bad for a 19-year-old. But the great news about him, though, is he's got 2 caps for Spain so far, already at 19 years of age. So that is brilliant. And 8 composure, though, is really worrying. But yeah, definitely one for the future, Robert. Could be in the first team next season, we shall see. And Manolo developed really nicely this season as well. Potentially 5 stars still, 2.5-star player. I'm thinking that he definitely might be in the first team for next season, we shall see. So he could be the first real potential regen in the first team. So in terms of the squad as well, again, Lamine Yamal, best player of the season. 5-star player now, Yamal. 20 goals and 20 assists for him. Absolutely brilliant. He's now got 16 caps and 9 goals for Spain. And again, he's looking absolutely unbelievable. Of course he is. Also, Thurman with a good season. 14 goals and 14 assists for him. He's only a 3-star player though, Thurman, but he's definitely serving a purpose. But you can't compare him to the likes of Yamal. He's still uncapped by Spain at 25 years of age. So it would be nice to get a very high potential attacking midfielder come through. But for now, Thurman is doing the job. That is for sure. Alejandro Balde again with a great season. 2 goals and 10 assists. Ansu Fati on the left wing started to improve. 19 goals and 9 assists for him. Gavi got 6 goals and 18 assists playing as a DM. So switching him to a DM has been really beneficial. You look at his first 4 seasons here. Not really that good. 3 6.9 average ratings, 1 7.08. This time, as a DM instead of a left winger, he got 4 goals and 15 assists. So, as a Segundo Volante, did really well, Gavi. But Marc Guillaume as well, with 34 goals and 4 assists for him this season. He absolutely flew this season. Only a 3-star player though, so similar to Thurman, he's pretty much reached his potential. So, could do another better striker coming through, like Manolo, for example. We shall see. Hector Fort got 46 games in the season as well, with 6 goals, 5 assists. Young Clafijo, I knew he weren't ready for first team football. He only started 5 games for the season, so that's kind of disappointing. But yeah, Lamine Yamal, he is the man leading us forward, along with Balde and Gavi and Fati. But anyway, 5 seasons played, no trophy to talk of, although we are teasing it a little bit. Got to a couple of finals in the Spanish Super Cup. Also, we got to the quarterfinal of the Champions League the last 2 seasons. And we've also finished 2nd in the league twice. But we're still miles away from Real Madrid. Can we close that gap in Season 6? So at the start of Season 6 here, we've got 2 new call-ups to the first team. The first one is Xavi Esparza. He's only a 1.5-star player. He hasn't really fulfilled his potential at all, to be honest with you. But because Sergio Roberto has now left the club, he's retired, along with along with Oriol Romeo as well. They're both retired, so was expecting that. They're both 31 at the start of the challenge here. So Xavi Esbar has come in as a backup right back, as an inverted wing back on support. He's clearly nowhere near good enough, and his potential has been a bit wasted, to be honest with you, but he's in here purely as a fringe player. But the other one is Manolo, who's definitely a more exciting player. Our first real regen in the first team. Obviously, we had Clavijo in here, but he wasn't ready for first team football. He's now been demoted to the B squad, but Manolo's in here, 2.5-star player, potentially 5 stars. He keeps improving, and he's looking very exciting now, to be honest with you. He also was the best player to come through the first youth intake, so that is very, very nice. I'm hoping he'll get plenty of game time this season, because you actually compare him to Mark Guihu. There's not too much difference between the two players. The only real difference is Guihu is slightly better mentally, and he's also better in the air as well. But hopefully Manolo gets plenty of game time. He had a very successful loan last season at Brest in the league, and he got 10 goals in 32 games there. Hopefully he continues to go on to bigger and better things, Manolo. In terms of the B squad, there's still a couple of players I'm keeping a strong eye on. The number one is Robert, the centre-back Robert. He's on loan again for the season. I could have called him up to the first team, but I feel like he's not going to get too much game time over Sabasi and Garcia this season. So he's actually on loan in the Bundesliga again to Hamburg. Again, great news about Hamburg is they've got state-of-the-art training facilities. So hopefully he continues to develop there. He had a good season at Hertha Berlin last season with 33 games played. So he is probably the next one to be called up to the first team. We shall see. Again, he's still not quite a ball-playing defender-style player, but in terms of his defensive attributes, he is very, very good. He's also very quick as well with 17 acceleration, so he is definitely one to keep an eye on. We've also got the attacking midfielder Robert as well, only 18, potentially 4 stars. Riarola, potentially 5 stars still. He's gone on loan for the season to Brest as well, similar to Manolo last season, so I'm hoping for a similar outcome, to be honest with you. He looks like a very good high-potential player, Riarola. Very excited about him. We've also got Robert Calvo in the B squad now, potentially 4 stars. The other players, not really too much to talk of, but the 2 Roberts and Riarola, that could be the next players in the first team. We look at the under-19 squad as well. Clavijo is out on loan this season. He's on loan to Bordeaux for the season. I've been quite disappointed with his development, to be honest with you. I don't think it was the right decision to call him up for the first team last season. I should have loaned him out, but still, his development hasn't really gone that great at the moment. He's got 5 caps for Argentina, though, by the way, which is very, very surprising. So we shall see about him, but he's in the under-19 squad now, but he's out on loan. And Oya Lopez is still the most exciting one in the under-19 squad. So in terms of the best 11 at the club now, according to the assistant, well, Alarcon is apparently our best striker at the club. I tend to disagree, to be honest with you. I feel like he's more of a winger-style player. Although he's now got 7 caps and 1 goal for Spain, he's definitely developed very nicely and definitely a very useful player. It's hard for him to get above the light bar. He's not going to get above Fati and Yamal on the wings, so the assistant's looking to play him up front, but he's definitely got competition in that position with Guihu and Manolo at the club, so we shall see about that. And also Casado is now our number 1 ball midfielder after Romeo retired. A little bit concerned about the position. He's only a 2-star player, but he's the best we've got at the club. So is the team a little bit weaker from last season? Maybe, because obviously Romeo is retired. That's a big loss for us. But saying that, the squad depth has definitely improved drastically. We've got Alarcon now, who's turned out to be a very good player. We've also got Guihu and, of course, Manolo here at the club in the 4 positions, looking very good as well. Also, one player I forgot to mention, Danny Avila. He's been called up to the first team as well. Hasn't got the biggest potential about him, but he has developed very nicely. He's potentially a 3-star player, but overall he's quite a good player, to be honest, and I'm quite happy with him. So he is now in the first team as well. So 5 seasons without a trophy so far, but we are getting better. What will season 6 bring? Will it bring our first trophy? Let's find out. Well, I don't know what happened in season 6, but somehow we toppled Real Madrid and we won the league title with 100 points. What on earth has happened in season 6? Real Madrid, by the way, got 98 points, but we pipped them to the post by 2 points. So our first trophy in the Homegrown Challenge here. And quite convincingly as well. It has to be 100 points for us. What on earth is going on? That is a drastic improvement from last season. Also a plus 76 goal difference. It was very tight, it has to be said. Also, Real Madrid won the last 16 games in a row towards the end of the season. But we've done enough in the first half of the season and we pipped them to the post just by 2 points. So, wow. Without spending a single penny here at Barcelona, we have managed to topple arguably the biggest club in the world to the La Liga title, so that is absolutely fantastic. In terms of the Champions League, though, we got knocked down around the 16 by Porto, so that was disappointing. The Spanish Cup again, we haven't reached the quarter-final yet. This time we got knocked out by a decent team at least. Knocked out by Real Sociedad in the 4th round. And the Spanish Super Cup knocked down the semi-final by Real Madrid. But the most important thing is we won our first trophy here in the rebuild. And we won it with 100 points. Beating Real Madrid. Their position didn't really drop at all, really. They're standard. 98 points for them. That should be enough to win your league title. But we got 100 points and a plus 76 goal difference. How many goals did we actually score for the season then? We actually scored 103 goals this season, only conceding 27. Also, we actually didn't beat Real Madrid this season. We lost away to them 4-0 and we drew at home to them 1-1. But the most important thing is we beat the teams we were expected to beat and we won our first trophy without spending a single penny over one of the biggest clubs in the world, arguably the biggest club in the world. So, wow, what a season Season 6 has brung. Our first trophy, hopefully one of many. Fortunately, the youth intake has been better this season as well. 2 very high prospect players have come through. The first one is Andrew Almiral, potentially 5 stars. He's a 15-year-old striker. Can also play on the right wing as well. Again, not much to talk of now, but hopefully he will be in the future. And the other one is Geoffrey Jonkusa, who's also a striker, can play on the right wing as well. Potentially 4.5-star player. So two good players come through the intake. Also got a couple of 4-star players as well. We've got Armand here, potentially 4 stars, and Yunus Chiab, potentially 4 stars as well. So yeah, the youth intake is looking a lot better, so that is very, very nice. In terms of the squad as well, in terms of best player of the season, surprise, surprise, Lamine Yamal again, this time with 18 goals and 18 assists for him. Also, Alarcon had a very good season with 18 goals and 12 assists. Gavi got 11 goals and 14 assists as well. Ansu Fati was best goal scoring form for the club, 20 goals and 12 assists for him. Alejandro Boldi got 2 goals, 9 assists, but Manolo, our first real regen in the first team, he was a regular starter this season. He got 29 goals and 7 assists. So our first real exciting regen player. He's also got his first caps for Spain, 2 caps for Spain. And now he's looking like a very, very good player. A very good player indeed. Developed really nicely here at the club. And now he's a 4-star player for us. So him and Alarcon are actually the first players to break that 4-star ability for the club. Apart from the top 4 players have been the best 4 players in the club throughout the entirety of the challenge. So that is very nice. Our first real regen in the first team, Manolo, had a brilliant first season with 29 goals and 7 assists. Unfortunately for Mark Guillou, he's been pushed out of the team. He's now alienated at the club. Only started 2 games all season, but you know, Manolo is a better player. We actually compared the 2 now, compared to him at the start of last season. Manolo, he's looking like the better player for me, to be honest. He's better technically. He's much quicker as well, but Guillou is still better mentally and in the air. So I'd like to see Guillou get more game time, but of course Manolo is 2 years younger. He's got higher potential as well, so not really too surprised about that. So a great season all around. Obviously Season 6, our first trophy, beating Real Madrid to the Liga title with 100 points. And also we got our first real regen, our first youth intake player in the first team. And he had a pretty good first season with 29 goals and 7 assists. What will Season 7 bring though? It's going to be very hard to defend our crown, but if we get 100 points again, we'll definitely have a good chance. Well, at the start of Season 7 here, and Clavijo is back in the first team. He's now a 2.5-star player, potentially 4.5 stars. I'm still not quite happy with his development, but he's definitely a useful squad player to have, that is for sure. Still got 5 caps for Argentina. And also Pau Prim, not sure if he's in the first team last season. Unfortunately, he hasn't quite fulfilled his potential. He's only a 2-star player, an emergency backup, so that's disappointing. But he's in the first team as well. But of course, last season was all about the La Liga title, and also Manolo coming to his own this season. Oh, of course, as well, I forgot to mention, Robert, of course, is in the first team as well. He's a 3-star player, potentially 5 stars. He had 2 very good loans at Hamburg and Hertha Berlin. He's now in the first team, and a new centre-back to talk of, can play left-back as well. He's very good. He's very good. He's not the ball-playing defender I want. You know, his composure is poor, and his technical ability isn't the best, it has to be said, but as an actual central defender, he's very good. He's got 16 marking, 16 positioning, 18 acceleration. He's good mentally as well. So he's in the first team now. He's got 5 caps for Spain as well. So that is very nice. In terms of players I'm keeping an eye on, and that, well, the first one is Oya Lopez. 2 stars, essentially 4.5 stars. Only 17, about to turn 18. He's on loan at Levante for the season, who are now playing La Liga. And as you can see, he's developed very, very nicely. Very, very good player. Very high potential player. Could be in the first team sooner rather than later, to be honest with you. He's a natural centre-back, to be honest. With our DM troubles, with Marc Casano being our number 1 DM, I'm feeling like that is his natural progression at the club. Lopez, if you can see, it's a ball midfielder. His attributes very good. 18 bravery, 17 work rate as well. Physically, he's very good. He's very quick. 17 acceleration, 16 pace. His strength could do improving, but hopefully that will come. Hopefully he'll have a great load of Levante this season, so He is the next one that hopefully be in the first team. We've still got the attacking midfielder Robert, but he hasn't quite developed. As you see by his progress there, it's kind of stalled. I couldn't get my loan out last season, which did affect him. Also, the good news is Barcelona B are now in the second division, so we've had 2 promotions here. That is great. Great for the development. Also got a few others I'm keeping an eye on, such as Calvo and Honti, but to be honest, in the B squad, the main one I'm keeping an eye on is, of course, Oya Lopez. There's another one, though, who's in the under-19 squad. That is Riarola. He's on loan again for the season. 2.5-star player now. He's looking very, very good, but I want to give him a bit more development. I don't think he's going to be a regular starter for us. He's on loan at Valencia for the season, though, in La Liga, so hopefully he can be a very exciting player for us for next season. Had a very good season on loan at Brest last season. 10 goals in 32 games. I think that's identical to Manolo, but difference is he's on loan again to Valencia. He's not really going to push Manolo out of the team or any of the centre midfielders or attacking midfielders. So, but to be honest, I'm looking at him as an attacking midfielder. When I call him back, I want to trade him there because I feel like he could take Thurman's place in the starting 11. So that is definitely a player to look out on, Riarola and Oya Lopez. Well, in terms of the assistant's opinion of the best 11, a couple of things have changed from last season. Of course, Manolo is now the #1 striker at the club. And also Robert is coming into the first team this season. So it's great I loaned him out again last season because now he could be a starting centre-back for us. Well, he should be a starting centre-back for us if the assistant keeps to his word. So yeah, a couple of regens in the starting 11 now with Manolo and Robert. 2 very exciting players. Still got some couple of exciting players coming through as well. So what will Season 7 bring? We won the league title last season with 100 points. Can we do that again? Let's find out. Well, unfortunately, we couldn't get 100 points again, but the good news is we have defended our crown. Back-to-back La Liga titles for us. 96 points this season, though, so not too shabby. 3 points clear Real Madrid this time with a plus 82 goal difference. So also Villarreal with 90 points, worth mentioning as well, but a great title race. But at the end, we're the only team that matters. We won the league title. Back-to-back league titles for us without a penny spent. Absolutely fantastic. The Champions League got to the quarter-final again. This time knocked out by Borussia Dortmund, so still yet to get past the quarter-final in the Champions League, but domestically it's going really well. The Spanish Cup knocked down in the 4th round again, this time by Almeria, so that's not going well. We did, however, win the Spanish Super Cup, though, so that is our 3rd trophy in 2 seasons, so the trophies are coming now. Now we need to do something in the Champions League. In terms of the youth intake, unfortunately not a very good one, it has to be said. Although we do have Solivelis at the club here. I don't think I mentioned him before. He's got potentially 4.5 stars now. He really did develop very well last season. He's another centre-back player, so very interesting the fact that we start off the challenge here with not an abundance of great centre-backs, but now we've got a few coming through, such as Robert, such as Lopez, and now Solivelis as well. Yeah, he came for the youth intake last season, I believe, but he wasn't worth mentioning at the time, but he's developed very nicely, and he's now got high potential of 4.5 stars. But in terms of this year's youth intake, not really that good. Only a couple of 4-star players in Gonzalez Diaz and Robert Tabella. Well, best player of the season, is it really a surprise? Of course, Lamine Yamal again. 32 goals this season for him and 21 assists. 53 goal involvements in just 51 games. Absolutely ridiculous. Also, Thurman with another great season of 13 goals and 13 assists. Alejandro Balde, another good season, of course. Clavijo didn't start too many games, only started 3 games for the season, so that's disappointing. Gavi, though, with 12 goals and 14 assists for him. Fati with 19 goals and 12 assists. And Alarcon with 15 goals and 6 assists. Top goals for the season was Lamine Yamal, 32 goals, but also Manolo got 20 goals again in 45 games, 7 assists. Lower than last season, but again, another good season for him. Fati got 19 goals as well. Alarcon got 15 goals. So going forward, to be honest, going forward and defensively looking very good. We've won back-to-back league titles in Season 6 and Season 7. Still yet to do anything in the Champions League. We did, however, though, win the Spanish Super Cup as well. So that's now 3 trophies in 2 seasons. What will Season 8 bring, though? Will it be a trilogy of La Liga titles for us? Let's find out. Well, at the start of Season 8 here, and I've called up 2 players for the first team. 2 players are not very surprising. That is Oya Lopez. He's now a 2.5 star player, potentially 4.5 stars. I'm very liking the look of him, to be honest. Very much liking the look of him. I'm looking at him as our new DM style player. 2 caps for Spain already for him as well. Only 18 years of age, about to turn 19. The Spanish national team is dominated by our players, by the way, just to tell you that. Not really too surprising, but yeah, Lopez has come through. He can play left back, but that position is definitely set up with Balde there. Centre back, but DM. But DM, as I said, that is a position we're lacking in. I'm looking at Lopez to be our #1 DM for the season. Very high potential player. He's really looking good enough. He's 18 years of age, about to turn 19. Had a successful season last season at Levante, playing La Liga football. 31 starts there for them, so very excited about him. And also, Riarola is in the first team now as well. 3 stars, 4.5-star player. He's a natural striker, but he's not quite as good as Manolo. So as I said before, I'm looking to trade him up as a new attacking midfielder. Hopefully he gets game time this season. We shall see about that. Also, I actually sold my first player in this season. I actually sold 2 players. The first one I actually wasn't aware of because in Spain here, of course, some of you may know this, you have to have a minimum free release clause in every single player's contract. All of them are pretty much go for a £500 million minimum free release clause, the maximum you can get. But some of them, some of the fringe players, they want a much lower free release clause than that. And beknownst to me, Schalke obviously matched Paul Prim's release clause of £7.5 million. He's now playing there for Schalke. I wasn't even aware of that until this season, but not really too disappointed. He's not really good enough for us, to be honest. So he's left the club. Also, Casado. I decided to sell Casado because I wanted to make space for a new DM, such as Lopez, because he was taking a lot of first-team football away from players. Although he did quite well for us. He played plenty of games throughout this season's here, as you can see, and he's had some decent average rating. He's not really a very good player, and I'm looking to give players who've got much higher potential than him starts in the first team. So he's actually one player I actually decided to sell Casado, where Paul Prim, Schalke matched his minimum fee release clause. But as you can see here, through the transfers, nothing to talk of in terms of transfers in. The only thing that's ever happened after that is players leaving on a free transfer, or also money getting in for loan players. So this season I've actually sold my first 2 players. Paul Prim, where he went last season, and Mark Casado has gone to Al Shabab. In terms of players I'm looking out for in the B squad, well, obviously Robert the centre-back is in the first team now. Robert the attacking midfielder, his development is definitely stalled. I'm still failing to get a loan for him, I think. Yeah, he's not getting any loans out, so his development is definitely stalled in that regard. He still looks like he's got some potential about him. Almost 21 years of age. Of course, I keep players way past their due date just in case with this homegrown challenge here. So apart from Robert, maybe Para and Calvo, not really much to talk about in the B squad at the moment, unfortunately. In the under-19 squad, though, we've got some high potential players. Chihab, Soloveles and Junkosa, all potentially 4.5-star players, all developing very nicely. So we've got some good players in the under-19s, but in the B squad, it's gone a little bit dry at the moment. In terms of the starting 11 for the season as well, of course, Casado has been sold, so that DM position has been freed up. It's saying that Avila is our best ball midfielder, although he's developed very nicely, and I'm quite happy with him as a squad player. I'm hoping that Oya Lopez will get plenty of game time there. The fact that he can play there very well. I'm hoping the assistant isn't foolish and he plays in there. I'm hoping I haven't backfired here by not sending him out on loan again. So hopefully he does get plenty of game time. But anyway, the last 2 seasons we won back-to-back league titles. We also won the Spanish Super Cup last season as well. Can we win 3 La Liga titles in a row? Let's find out. Well, unfortunately, we couldn't make it 3 league titles in a row. Actually, a bit of a drop-off this season. We actually finished 3rd in the league with only 89 points. I say only 89 points, but it's a big drop-off from the last 2 seasons, 100 points and 96 points. If we would have got 96 points again this season, we would have won the league title because Real Madrid won it with 94 points. Also, Valencia finished above us with 93 points, so that has to be quite disappointing. The Champions League, though, we got to the semi-final for the first time, so we got our furthest in that, knocked out by Liverpool, so that's quite nice. We won a trophy, though. We won the Spanish Cup for the first time. For the first time, we got past the 4th round, and when we get past the 4th round, we win the competition. So, although it hasn't been the greatest of seasons, finishing 3rd, we did win a piece of silverware again, the Spanish Cup for the 3rd season in a row. We've won silverware now. That's now 4 trophies for us. That's great. Spanish Super Cup knocked down the semi-final with Real Madrid, so the season's definitely promising, that's for sure. Finished 3rd in the league, 89 points is still nice. A plus 82 goal difference is very nice as well. The Champions League got to the semi-final and we won the Spanish Cup, but unfortunately our La Liga run is over for at the moment. In terms of the youth intake as well for Season 8, it was actually very, very good. One of our better ones, to be honest with you. And the great news is we've got a potential goalkeeper, a highly potential goalkeeper. I was very worried about this position. Aneki Peña isn't getting any younger, and we have no potential goalkeepers at the club at all. But we have got one now. We've got Pachi Garmendia, who's actually French, potentially 5 stars. He is actually half Basque, though, as you see there. I've now said he's Basque, so he could go to Athletic Bilbao, but definitely not. He's a Frenchman. Not looking like much just as yet, as you can imagine, but only 15 years of age. He's still 15 till October. The good news is, though, we've got a goalkeeper, potentially 5 stars, and hopefully with the right development, he could be the natural replacement for Inaki Peña, because obviously that is a big worry if we have no goalkeeper going forward whilst Peña is getting older now. I think he's 31 or 32 now, so it's a bit of a race to see if Garmendia can be the number 1 before Peña retires or leaves the club. But the good news is we've got a potential goalkeeper in the club now in the under-19s in Garmendia. We also got Owen King come through, who's actually English. 1 star into 4.5 stars. Actually a wanted man already. Wanted by PSG. They can clear off. He is not going anywhere, of course. As I said before at the start of the challenge here, it doesn't matter what nationality they are. Obviously, most will be Spanish, but we've got an Englishman here, Owen King. Born in Bristol. He's been in Spain for the last 3 seasons at least, though. So he's picked up the language very nicely. Potentially 4.5 stars. Again, doesn't like much right now, but high potential about him. Another Englishman as well, though. I've got to mention him. William Bell. He played on the left wing, potentially 4.5 stars. Not quite as much potential as Owen King, I'd say, but still, potentially 4.5 star player. And also we've got Lou Bustamante come through, potentially 4 stars. But obviously the most important thing to talk about the youth intake is the fact that we've actually got a goalkeeper who's got a higher potential than 2.5 stars. That is absolutely fantastic. Hopefully, Garmendia will end up being our number 1, taken over from Inaki Peña. Also, the best player of the season again was Lamine Yamal with 16 goals and 19 assists. The bad news is he actually picked up a very serious injury, which obviously could have impacted our season quite a lot. He actually broke his leg against Levante on 8th of March 2021. He's out for another 2 months. So if he didn't break his leg, we could have won our 3rd La Liga trophy in a row. But of course, these things happen. These things are out of our control. Also, Ansu Fati got 26 goals and 14 assists, so he did brilliantly. He's injured as well. He's out with a fractured wrist. Balde again with a great season, well, a fantastic season actually. He had 51 games and 27 assists for Balde. So over 1 assist a game, over 1 assist every 2 games. Sorry for Balde, that's ridiculous. Manolo with 36 goals and 4 assists for him. So I think it's safe to say he is the best striker at the club now. And Gavi got 8 goals and 22 assists. Obviously not too impressive this season, finishing 3rd in the league and ending our La Liga run. But we did win the Spanish Cup for the first time, so at least we end the season with winning a trophy. So 8 seasons completed now. We've won a trophy in each of the last 3 seasons. What will season 9 bring? Can we win the La Liga title again? Can we go far in the Champions League again? Let's find out. By the way, if you're actually liking this video, this style of video, the Homegrown Challenge, if you're still watching at this point, then I'd like to think you like it a little bit. If you're looking to, if you're interested in seeing more Homegrown challenges from me, and do let me know down in the comment section what club you'd like me to do this next for. I've already got a couple of ideas myself, such as Bayern Munich or PSG. Of course, nothing stupid like a Swindon Homegrown Challenge or something, because obviously that isn't going to be very doable. I'm looking to do another club that have very good youth intake, but also a very big club such as PSG, Bayern Munich, to see what I can do with them, to see if it can be replicated like I have done with Barcelona here. It's not over yet, but we have won 2 La Liga titles. At the start of season 9 here though, in terms of players called up to the first team, well, Clavijo is back in the first team again. He's not really, he's potentially 3 stars now, as I said. He's not really fulfilled his potential at all, so, you know, you can't really blame him too much. He can't defend, so as a left back, he's not great. You know, well, let's not be too harsh on the lad. Left back, we've got Balde. Right wing, we've got Yamal. And left wing, we've got Fati. So it's not too surprising to see him not do develop as well as he could done, but he's still a useful fringe player. Also, Riarola, unfortunately, did not get the game time last season at all, which I'm very annoyed with my assistant about. He only had 10 games in total in the league, only started 2 of them, so really disappointed with that. But also got Emric Parra up in the first team now, potentially 3 stars, only as a backup option, but he developed very nicely the last couple of seasons. He was on loan at Empoli last season in Serie A, he did really well, so he is in the first team now as well. Also, Robert did really well last season. He's now a 3.5 star player, potentially 4.5 stars. So he done really well last season. He got 20 games in total. I think he picked up an injury as well. So that explains why his lack of game time there. And also, Oyo Lopez. Thankfully, he did end up being a regular starter last season. He played 34 games. He got 3 goals and 3 assists. And he continues to develop. And he's a very exciting player, Lopez. In my opinion, he's the most exciting at the club now. Obviously, Manolo, he's not so exciting now as a potential player because he's a class player. He's a world-class player, Manolo. He's one of our best players, so don't really get that excited about him too much now. Lopez, in terms of the potential, is the most exciting for me. In terms of the B squad as well, the one who looks like the most ready for the next first-team football is actually Soloveles, who's another centre-back. He's on loan this season. He's on loan at Hoffenheim for the season in the Bundesliga 2. And he's developed really nicely the last couple of seasons, Soloveles. Really nicely developed. He can play DM as well, centre-back or right-back as well, so we'll see how he'd do. In terms of the under-19s as well, not too many players to talk of in terms of ready for first-team football. So the only one really to talk about is probably Soloveles. Robert still at the club, potentially 3 stars. But other than that, not really too much to talk of. Unfortunately, we couldn't win the league last season. We did win the Spanish Cup though. Can we get back to winning ways in La Liga though in season 9? Let's find out. Well, unfortunately, we failed to win the league title last season, but in season 9, we're back to winning ways in La Liga. It's now 3 titles out of 4, and it's pretty much a carbon copy of our first La Liga title. We got 100 points again exactly, and 2 points clear of Real Madrid again. So, wow, that's amazing. 100 points, a plus 83 goal difference again. Unbelievable, unbelievable. Only 2 defeats in the season. That was away to the 2 Madrid clubs, Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid, 1-0 and 4-2. So, yeah. 3 league titles out of 4 for us in La Liga. That is very, very nice and definitely not what I expected. The Champions League, though, disappointing. Knocked out in the round of 16 by Juventus this season. Got to the semi-final last season. The Spanish Cup as well. We couldn't defend our crown. Knocked down the quarter-final by Granada this time. And the Spanish Super Cup knocked down the semi-final by Real Betis. But again, we've won another piece of silverware. We've won the La Liga title, arguably the most important one. That's now four seasons in a row we've won a trophy. This season league title again. Obviously last season won the Spanish Cup, but it's more about the points tally for me. 100 points again is crazy, and a plus 83 goal difference. So I think it's safe to say we've definitely turned out to be one of the better teams in the La Liga again through the seasons here. And well, you'd say we're the best team in the Liga at the moment. We've won the 3 of the last 4 titles. That is very nice. We just need to do something in the Champions League now. We got to the semi-final last season. Can we get to the final or win the competition in the coming seasons? We shall see. In terms of the youth intake, again, not one of our better ones, to be honest. Antonio Blanco is the only one who's come through, potentially 4.5 stars. But to be honest with you, I feel like the challenge is nearing towards the end now, to be honest. Obviously, we've won 3 of the last 4 La Liga titles, but of course, I can't finish without doing something in the Champions League. Well, in terms of the best player of the season, unfortunately, it wasn't Lamine Yamal because, you know, he broke his leg last season. This season, even worse. He actually got damaged cruciate ligaments this season. And this is actually a disaster because since he broke his leg, he's had many injuries. He had shin splints, he had groin strain, he had poor hamstring. Then he had his damaged cruciate ligaments out for 6 months. Obviously, it seems like the assistant manager is an absolute fool because he forces him back to first team football for bizarre reason. He picked up another injury, a torn knee ligaments. He's out again for another 7 weeks to 2 months. So fingers crossed this is not the start of the end of the career for Lamine Yamal, but he's broke his leg and had damaged cruciate ligaments the last 2 seasons. But the good news is, we didn't miss him too much because we still won the league title of 100 points. But he only played in 21 games this season with 3 goals and 6 assists, but understandable. He just came out from a broken leg and then he damaged his cruciate ligaments, so that's really disappointing. Manolo, though, is now a 4.5 star player. He got 37 goals and 6 assists. Best player of the season was Balde, of course, with 6 goals and 15 assists. Not quite the 27 assists from last season, but still he's a very important player for us. Oya Lopez is now a 4-star player. He got 3 goals and 4 assists. Furman again with 11 goals, 11 assists. Gavi with 16 goals and 12 assists. And Alarcon with 16 goals and 13 assists. So another great season for us. We now won 3 league titles out of 4. We're still yet to do anything in the Champions League though. And Lamine Yamal is picking up serious injuries. Hopefully he doesn't continue. Now into Season 10. Can we do something in the Champions League in Season 10? Let's find out. Well, at the start of Season 10 here, not much has changed in terms of the first team squad. Although I've sold another player. And it's a big sale as well. I sold Furman to Troyes in France for £44 million. It says it's last season, but as you can see, it was only 8 days ago, so it counts as last season for some bizarre reason. But he has gone to Troyes for £44 million. Why have I sold Furman for? Well, he's 29 years of age now. He's got no caps for Spain to talk of. He's been very good for us. As you see, his average ratings, he actually had his second best season last season, but he's taken away important minutes from players with bigger potential than him. Riarola, he hasn't developed the last 2 seasons because the assistants preferred Furman over him. So I decided to sell him to get him out of the club to try and progress our young players even more. So he has left the club and gone to Troyes. Riarola is not happy. As you can see, he wants initially agreed playing time. His development has definitely stalled for this reason, which I'm very annoyed about, to be honest. I'm very annoyed about it. He should have got more game time as an attacking midfielder. So that is really disappointing. He's still looking quite good though. He's still young, 22 years of age. He's got 4 caps for Spain. So hopefully he gets the game time this season. We shall see. In terms of players in the B squad, hasn't changed much in terms of the players I'm looking at. Obviously, Soloveles is another one who's definitely developing very nicely. He's on loan at Köln this season in the Bundesliga, playing Bundesliga 2 football last season. So hopefully next season he could be in the first team. He's a right back and plays centre back as well and DM, so very good player. Also Chihab, he's actually a 4.5 star player. He's developed very nicely. He's a ball midfielder style player. Definitely lacking there. He's a Moroccan international, 11 caps for them. He's on loan at Schalke for the season. And we've also got Andrew Almiral, potentially 5 stars. He's a new striker. He's on loan at Girona for the season, so hopefully he develops as well. So we've got 3 players here in the B squad who definitely got high potential, who I'm definitely looking at. In the under-19 squad, not really any players to talk of who have got potential to be in the first team, although our promising goalkeeper Garmendia has done it very nicely, and also Owen King, our young Englishman, is looking very good as well. Also, one player I forgot to mention, attack midfield. Obviously, I've sold Thurman, made a space there. Robert, the attack midfielder Robert, he's been called up to the first team as well. Only supposed to be 2.5-star player, but he is in the first team at least. So we look at our starting 11 here. Well, apparently, even though I sold Thurman to get Riarola more game time, the assistant is apparently saying that Robert is the better attack midfielder, which I definitely disagree with. Riarola needs more game time. Hopefully he'll get it this season with Thurman leaving, but the second Robert is now in the first team. We'll see how he does. I don't think he's going to do as well as our other Robert, but we shall see. So season 10 now. We won the league title again last season, 3 out of 4. Can we win the league title again? Also, can we do something in the Champions League finally? Well, in season 10, absolutely disgusting. We got to 99 points, but it wasn't enough because Real Madrid won the league title with 100 points. It's just ridiculous points tally here in La Liga. Absolutely ridiculous. 99 points should be enough to win the league title, but Real Madrid got one more point than us. What can we do? A plus 92 goal difference, which is absolute insanity. How on earth can you not win the league title with 99 points and a plus 92 goal difference? But fair play to Real Madrid. They got a plus 90 goal difference and 100 points. So unfortunately, we couldn't win the league title again. It's now only 3 out of 5 seasons. But we did win the Champions League. We got to the final for the first time in the challenge here without spending a single penny, only going with players through the youth intake. We have lifted the greatest trophy, greatest club trophy in the UEFA Champions League. We beat Man City in the final 1-0. And funnily enough, who was the goal scorer in this final? Who do you think? Of course it was. It was Robert. Our attacking midfielder Robert. He got the winning goal in the Champions League. So I guess it was very important that he did go up to the first team. He won us the Champions League with that goal. The Spanish Cup knocked down the quarter-final with Athletic Bilbao. We did win the Spanish Super Cup for the second time. We won that. So 2 trophies in season 10. We couldn't win the league title, but definitely made up for it by lifting the Champions League for the first time in the challenge here. So now the fact that we've won the Champions League, I'm not going to play too many seasons after this. Maybe 1 or 2, we shall see. Maybe I'll see if I can win the Champions League again. But we won the Champions League here without spending a single penny. Only youth players. Of course, I know it's easier to win the Champions League or do well in the Homegrown Challenge with Barcelona with the likes of Yamal, Gavi and Balde, but still, it's a very, very impressive feat. So I don't think it's too important to look at the youth intake anymore, to be honest with you. It's definitely the challenge is near its conclusion, that is for sure. But the youth intake wasn't great this season anyway. We got Planaguma come through, potentially 4.5 stars. But other than that, not really anyone else to talk of. In terms of best player of the season, well, thankfully, Lamine Yamal has put his injury problems behind him. 28 goals and 24 assists for him this season, so that is absolutely fantastic. Also, Manolo with 45 goals and 4 assists this season. He's a world-class player, to be honest with you. He's now got 37 caps and 17 goals for Spain. And he's now on 375k a week as well, so definitely one of our better players and definitely one of our biggest successes here with Barca. Ansu Fati with 24 goals and 17 assists. Balde with another great season. Alarcon had got 18 goals and 8 assists as well. Gavi got 9 goals, 15 assists. Oya Lopez played 54 games this season. He's developed absolutely brilliantly here. Unbelievable player him. Unbelievable player Oya Lopez as a ball midfielder player. Look at him. Look at him. Unbelievable. Physically he's outstanding. Mentally he's outstanding as well. Can play centre back as well easily. But we have great positions, great players at centre back, where the DM position is a little bit lacking, and that is Lopez's position now. 17 caps and 3 goals for Spain for Lopez, so he's one of our other success stories. Robert had a great season as well with 30 games, 9 goals, 7 assists. He also developed very nicely. He's now a 3-star player for us, so it was the right decision to call him up for the first team. Very similar to Thurman in my opinion, not really the great attack midfielder we need, but he did win the Champions League for us with that goal in the final, so definitely did very well. Unfortunately, Riarola, the assistant didn't like him for some reason. Must have a bad attitude or something. Only started 1 game this season. He has got 4 caps for Spain. He's also transfer listed by request, which is annoying. But yeah, what can you complain about? We won the Champions League this season. Our youngsters are really developed at the club. You know, we've got 3 players here. Well, 3 regen players here who come through the youth intake have done really well. Oya Lopez, a 4.5-star player, which is ridiculous. Robert's a 4-star player, the centre back, and Manolo's a 4-star player as well. So a fantastic season for us. We didn't win the league title even with 99 points. We did win the Champions League for the first time, and we won the Spanish Super Cup as well. So into season 11 now. Can we lift the Champions League again? Can we get back to winning ways in La Liga? Let's find out. Well, at the start of season 11 here, a couple more players have been called up to the first team. Two players I was looking at. That was Jan Soliveles. He's in the first team now. 3-star, potentially 4.5 stars. He has developed crazily the last couple of seasons. 4 caps for Spain for him as well. He can play right back, he can play centre back and DM. Hector Fort has been our right back for many seasons now, but he hasn't developed to be a world-class player, so you actually compare the two here. Soliveles looks like a better player to me. He's better in the key attributes, although Fort is better technically and going forward, but Hector Fort's position could be under threat with Soliveles now in the first team. And also Armand is in the first team as well. 2.5 star, potentially 4-star player. He's a new DM. He's developed very nicely last season. I wasn't really looking at him, but as a backup ball midfielder, he looks very, very good. 20 aggression, 17 bravery. So he is in the first team as well. In terms of the B squad, not much to talk about really in terms of players to look out for. Though Junkosa is out on loan, potentially 4 stars. In the under-19 squad though, we've got Riarola and Chihab, who are both out on loan for the season. Riarola, thankfully, I managed to loan him out this season because I feel like he's still got something to prove here with Barca. So we'll see how he does on loan this season, on loan at Freiburg. So hopefully he can develop a little bit and come back a better player. And also Chihab is on loan at Wolfsburg for the season. He's another ball midfielder style player. So again, the DM position is now starting to look quite good. It's now looking really good actually. We've got Lopez, who's unbelievable, who's replaced Casalo, twice the player. We've got Chihab coming through and Armand coming through as well. Well, as I said, I think the challenge is nearing its conclusion now, and thankfully the team is really starting to take shape now. As you can imagine, just won the Champions League, won 3 out of 5 league titles. But if you look at the starting 11 here, obviously Manolo up front has made that position his own. Fati and Yamal, they speak for themselves. Robert as the attacker midfield, that is one position I'm a little bit worried about, a little bit annoyed about, shall I say. It's nice to be having a great attack midfielder there, but it is what it is. The DM, Lopez, is unbelievable, a 4-star player or 4.5-star player. Gavi as well in there is unbelievable, of course. In the back 5, we've got Pena in goal still. He's now 34 or 35. 34 years of age. Obviously, still got Garmendia coming through. He's still developing very nicely. And the back 5, we've got the centre-back partnership with Robert and Soliveles this season. Apparently, Soliveles is better than Eric Garcia. Personally, I'd play him at right back and Garcia centre-back, but the assistant can do what he wants. He knows what he's doing. He won us the Champions League last season. What will we do in Season 11, though? Let's find out. Well, unfortunately, we couldn't defend our Champions League crown. We got knocked down in round of 16 by Juventus, so really disappointing. But in the league, it was absolutely ridiculous. We have defended our crown. We got 104 points, which is a new record. And look at this, a plus 103 goal difference. How on earth can any team get a plus 103 goal difference? I have no idea. 104 points as well is absolutely ridiculous. We actually scored 117 goals this season, only conceded 14. Only 14 goals conceded, absolutely unbelievable. 14 points clear at the top as well, over Real Madrid. Only 2 losses in the season. That was away to Atletico Madrid and Real Betis, so an unbelievable season in the league. Couldn't defend our crown in the Champions League, but 104 points with a plus 103 goal difference is absolute insanity. The UEFA Super Cup, we lost that as well, unfortunately. Spanish Cup knocked down in the semi-final by Atletico Madrid. We won the Spanish Super Cup again, though, which is very, very nice. I don't think we really need to talk about the youth intake anymore because I'll be doing one more season after this maximum to see if we can win the Champions League again. And that'll be the final season. But in terms of the youth intake, we've got Stanley Williams come through, potentially 4.5-star player. He's Spanish, but he's half Nigerian. Other than that, not really much to talk about, to be honest with you, but none of these players will be used anymore from this point onwards. In terms of the best player of the season, surprise, surprise, Lamine Yamal with 32 goals and 25 assists. Balde again with another great season. Robert, done really well, the attack midfielder one, with 12 goals and 17 assists. Ansu Fati got 15 goals, 13 assists as well. Manolo with 32 goals and 4 assists as well. So, unfortunately, we couldn't defend our Champions League crown, but we have won 4 of the last 6 La Liga titles. What can we do in Season 12? It's going to be the final season. Can we lift the Champions League again? Well, let's find out. Well, now about to start Season 12. This would definitely be the final season here with the Homegrown Challenge. I feel like we've done enough now. Proved ourselves in the La Liga. We also won a Champions League, but I want to see if we can win the Champions League again. Hopefully we can. We shall see. In terms of players called up to the first team, well, Jonathan Honti is up here because Alex Valla wanted to leave the club, our backup left back, and Honti has replaced him as our backup left back. He's got 70 caps for Venezuela, by the way, which is very nice at 25 years of age, but obviously he's not very good enough, and he's clearly just a fringe player. Also, who else have I called up? Yunus Chihab is up here as well, 21 years of age now, Moroccan. He's developed very, very nicely. A very good ball midfielder. As a backup ball midfielder, he's very, very good. I feel like that gives him a little bit of service, to be honest. He's a very good player. And also, Riorolo is back in the first team. He had a good development last season on loan, and he's also calmed down with his transfer list. He's not transfer listed by request anymore. And that is it. Also in the B squad, Garmendia is out on loan for the season. He's on loan at Nuremberg for the season. He developed very nicely, and thankfully he looks like he'll be ready to take Peña's spot. But of course, we won't be here anymore because this is the final season. So we look at the starting 11. It hasn't changed from last season, so it's still looking absolutely ridiculous. Some very key players in here. Yamal is the best player of the club. Second and third best players apparently Alejandro Balde and Oya Lopez. Gavi in there as well. Soliveres and Robert centre-backs. Hector Fort, Manolo, Fati. It's a great team, and the great news is they're all Barcelona lads. They've all come through the La Masia Academy. What can we do in the final season though? Can we go out on a real high? Can we lift the Champions League title again? Can we win the league title again? Let's find out. Well, the final season has been completed. Unfortunately, we couldn't lift the Champions League again. The last two seasons have been very disappointing actually. Knocked out in the round of 16 again, this time by Chelsea. So really underwhelming in that competition. But we did win the league title again with 96 points this time. Not quite as good as last season, but still won the league title. Real Madrid, where are they? I can't see them. Oh, there they are. Fourth in the league with 75 points. So we battered them. 4 points to give Atletico Madrid in second place as well. So the Liga done really well. We won 5 of the last 7 league titles. So I think it's safe to say we're the best team in Spain. It would have been nice to win a second Champions League, but wasn't meant to be. The Spanish Cup, we got to the final for the second time, but we lost it unfortunately. We won the Spanish Super Cup again though, which is great. Even though it doesn't really matter, let's have a look at the youth intake anyway. We did get one decent player come through. That is Mohamed. We've got a couple of decent players come through. Mohamed Sané's come through. He is a, well, I did say he was Gambian, I think. Wait, what? He was Gambian. He's half Spanish, of course, and surprise, surprise, he's switched his allegiance to Spain. He's come through the youth system, potentially 4.5 stars, potentially 5 stars, sorry. And Pep Villarasa as well, come through the youth system, potentially 4.5 stars. Also, I should mention Garmendia. He's developed really nicely last season, and look at that. He's looking like he's ready for first team football to take over Inaki Peña, who's actually just about to lead the club on a free transfer. So it was to continue. Thankfully, just at the right time, Garmendia has come through and looks like he's ready to be our number 1. So that is absolutely fantastic. In terms of best player of the season, though, you know what I'm going to say. Lamine Yamal again, 18 goals and 24 assists. Oya Lopez as a DM, unbelievable. 8 goals, 11 assists for him. Chiab as well, had a great season with 16 goals and 4 assists. Where was Lopez playing then? Well, Lopez was mainly playing as a DM, and Chihab was mainly playing as a DM as well. So, was Gavi getting the game time? He was getting the game time. Oh, Gavi was playing on the left wing. That explains Chihab and Lopez partnering each other as a DM. And Ansu Fati, with a lack of game time this season, only started 5 games this season. I think he got a serious injury though. Yeah, he got damaged. We had a couple of serious injuries. That explains his lack of game time, Fati. He is the first player from the start of the challenge here, apart from the 31-year-olds, that has really started to decline in terms of the great potential players, Ansu Fati. So I think it's definitely the right time to end the challenge here. But look at some of these players we've got here who come through the youth system. Regen players, obviously Yamal, we know how good he is. Only 27 years of age, by the way, Yamal. So we could continue with him being our number 1 player for the next 10 seasons, which is absolutely ridiculous. But Lopez, Manolo, Robert, Chihab, Soliveres as well. All great players who come through the youth academy. So that is the end of this challenge, guys. It's been very fun, to tell you the truth. I've been very happy with how it's gone. As I said before, that first season could have been very crucial. Finishing 4th in the league and getting Champions League football could have convinced these players to stay around. To be honest, I didn't have much problems with them. The only one I had a little bit of problems with was Gavi. But the only time I had a problem with him was when he was out in an international tournament. He didn't want to talk about a new contract, which is kind of understandable, to be honest with you. But no player refused to sign a new contract with me in terms of these very high potential players, which is very surprising, but also very, very nice. So in terms of how many competitions we won, well, of course, La Liga was by far our most successful. We won 5 of the last 7 La Liga titles in 2029, 2030, 2032, 34 and 35. So in La Liga, we've done really well, it has to be said. The Champions League, of course, we won it one time in 2033. The Spanish Cup was rather disappointing. Only won that one time. Only got to 2 finals as well. We also won 4 Spanish Super Cups. So we won, well, 11 trophies in the end here at Barcelona. I think that was in 7 seasons as well. But it would have been nice to win more Champions Leagues. But at the end of the day, we didn't spend a single penny here with Barcelona. We won a Champions League, 5 La Liga titles, 1 Spanish Cup, and 4 Spanish Super Cups. If you're looking for me to do more of these challenges, guys, I'll be definitely interested. If this video is successful, of course, I'll look to do another one. I'm looking to do PSG or Bayern Munich next, to be honest. If you've got any suggestions for me, let me know in the comment section down below. Of course, as I said, nothing stupid. I can't do a Swindon Homegrown challenge because that just will not work. Obviously, it's got to be a big team with a good youth intake. So, hopefully, people will give me some recommendations, but if they don't and this is successful, I'll be doing either PSG or Bayern Munich next. So that is the end of this video, guys. If you watched it towards the end, well, thank you very much. Make sure you hit that like button for me. And if you're new around here, do hit that subscribe button as well. It'd really help me out and much appreciated. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you for the next one.